Hello, and welcome back. Today we're doing a little bit different of an episode. We are doing a quick recap, or should I say a very long recap of what's happened. I haven't been able to do a ton of editing with my time, so I've decided to try something different. I'm just going to kind of explain what's going on. It's going to be going really fast, but currently what you're seeing is continuation of episode 5, so we're starting with episode 6, obviously. And Germany is just starting to push Britain back after Britain retook Belgium and liberated it. But it will not hold, as for there's not enough troops and there is not enough air force to hold it. So this is showing the battles going on here. As you can see, Britain is taking casualties. We're just going over the buffs and debuffs as to the pieces. Germany ends up having a large advantage because of the combined warfare with the mechanized and the tank. And then Germany, well, I don't see it actually in this battle, but if they brought in a tactical bomber, they would also get another bonus on their, I want to say it's tanks offense. Plus, Germany has a ton of generals. Foreshadowing here, or should I just outright say it? There was a misstep with the British player's move in retaking Belgium, because of you can only have 2 units in a hex zone. So if we try to retreat those units, sadly they can't all retreat because you can't overstack in a hex. So we were only able to retreat, I think, the artillery and the general. Luckily, able saving the general. So it is a possibility that the general can be killed if it's still in the battle, or if it just gets put back on the build chart, I guess you would call it. And then they're attacking this again. I don't exactly remember what happened. It was a paradrop, and his paradrop failed with all his paratroopers dying on impact. I think he's still going with this battle. Yeah. Looks like we're gonna end up retreating here to save pieces, because it's cheaper to repair than it is to rebuild completely brand new. I'm pretty sure we do end up retreating. Yeah. So we end up getting to that port there. Alright, now Germany's going after France, Luxembourg. Currently, it looks like I'm just putting these pieces back on the production chart. The way the game works, I think I've said in the past, is when your pieces die, they're not deleted. They go back on your production chart, because each nation is limited to a certain amount of troops. Sadly for Britain, they don't have a ton of troops, especially not at this point in time. So they're very limited in what they can do. Let's see what's coming up here. This will be episodes 6 through 10. Or maybe it's 6 through 11. I don't remember if I added on episode 11. Looks like here is where the Russians started to build up their front line a little bit. They're starting to get units out in the field. I opted to buy a bunch of half-strength infantry. Don't remember if I said that last episode. And the reason why I did that is because you can repair or fix the infantry as they move. So I wanted them to move in position as they're getting healed, rather than just buying a small amount that are fully healed or at full strength. I was joking. I think I was joking in the episode, saying that I was conscripting recruits, and They're training on their way to the front lines, or what will be the front lines. Let's see here. UK's turn. Pretty sure we're just going to be doing convoy raiding, escorting, and then trying to get those troops back to UK. Or, I don't know exactly. I can't remember exactly what I did. This was a while ago. At least a month ago. I know those 2 infantry, I'm pretty sure I moved them back to give Paris a little bit more time. Try to get the French one more turn to buy pieces. I'm not sure if they were able to, though. What exactly am I doing here? I think I'm just... Oh, I think I know what I'm trying to do. I might be trying to do a naval invasion to get some pot shots, but with bombardments from my ships. But I went against it because the areas I wanted to go didn't have beaches, and so my units would therefore suffer a health subtraction just by landing on a non-beach hex. It could be that, or it could be something totally different. I have no clue. Of footage, so I've shrunk it down. So each
10 to 20 minutes.
10 minutes to 20
Looks
minutes
like I
is
am,
about 2.5 hours.
I
am bringing the UK's fleet out to do some convoy raiding to take as much money away from Germany. End up getting, I think it was all hits there. That one not so much. And now everything's, yeah, I got all hits on the bottom one. You can see the 6 out of 6 there. Now I'm going to the Atlantic to try and find some subs. So the way searching rolls, you have to find the sub. And in these larger sea zones, you need groups of 8 to be considered a search group. And each search group affects your roll of finding a sub. This gets changed later on into just finding the group of subs, a specific sub. And as of right now, I still need a roll of 6 to find them, even though I have 2 groups of 8 out there, with each of them having a carrier with a swordfish on it. I would need to get another group out there to bring it down. No, another group out there wouldn't help. It would give me another search roll, but it wouldn't decrease the roll down to a 5. I would need another group with a carrier, and then it would finally go down to a 5. I take that back. I would need a group with a carrier in order for it to go down to a 5 if there are only 3 groups. All 3 groups, if they have a carrier, would then go down to a 5. If they don't have a carrier, they're still at a 6, but the ones with a carrier would be at a 5. So, looks like the, I think I wasn't sure if I was able to find the raiders down south by Africa. Currently, I think at this point I went AFK for a little bit, and I'm just zoning in on France because the French player was going to take over, and I'm not exactly sure what they were planning. Looks like they're pulling back a little bit, trying to do some maneuvers so that they can try to hold the line as best they can. Looks like they're going out to the Atlantic, possibly. They have a search group down south, helping search for some surface raiders. It looks like it failed. Like I said, these, especially in the South Atlantic, it's a large sea zone, so you know one group isn't going to change your dice value, but it is going to give you another dice roll. So France is trying to help out there. I'm pretty sure I'm still AFK at this point, so there'll just be probably maybe 30 seconds of just sitting here until I get another ping, or if I move back up north. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with the board, nor was I told, but we will see when it moves back up, whether when I get back or if somebody pings. It's okay, so it looks like I came back, and I think the French player was asking for my advice on a couple things here. Yeah, I still don't think, I think we're just talking through possibilities on where that tank should go. We wanted the tank position so that he couldn't attack Paris this turn from the north. He'd have to go down south by the Maginot. It would give us one more turn against to try and fortify Paris, because we wanted the last to try to get some more money. But we only collect money on season turns, and each season is 3 turns. So it's basically between the final turn of a season and the first turn of the next, you will collect money, and then you can spend it on the next turn, obviously, or save it as you wish. Okay, so here comes, that was the end of that turn. Here comes Germany's on turn 2. Looks like they're trying to get rid of that tank with their air force, and Britain and France are scrambling their air force to do as much damage to the German air force. If that tank goes, we know that Germany can easily break the front line at the top and just blitz right through, or should I say break right through, and attack Paris. They prompted to retreat, or maybe I prompted to retreat. I can't tell. I think, nope, I didn't retreat. Okay, so, or the French player didn't retreat. Looks like we were able to hold off the attack with the planes. Now we're back out in the North Atlantic. Germany is trying to do some convoy raiding and is failing again. Yep, a 12 and a 10 up north. With submarines in the big sea zones that are on the convoy routes, a sub, if they get a successful roll, they then roll 2d6 to damage the convoy route. So they're pretty devastating if they hit. Obviously, right now, there's not a lot of subs out there, so it's not an issue, but if Germany keeps building up subs, it will become a huge issue. I don't know exactly what I'm looking at right now. I think I'm looking at the Vichy French rules. Thinking, trying to see what I want to do as France. I think I might be playing as France today. I want to try and position the French fleet into helpful positions for Britain if they become British, and extremely bad positions for Germany if they become German. And I didn't want any of the French fleet in the Mediterranean, or as little as possible, because I did not want Italy getting the French fleet. Let's see here. It looks like they're trying to break through by, yep, right by that infantry there. If they break that through, the tanks will come down. Looks like they retreated that plane, Germany. Aircraft can retreat at any time. The land battle can keep going. So that infantry died. Oh, looks like they took the tile. Yep, and there it is. There's the breakthrough. Now, unknowingly, Germany could have really screwed up here. Yeah, I'm gonna wait until I think everything's done moving. It looks like they're starting to attack Paris right now, actually. Yeah. So they left only one troop in Luxembourg, if you can see that. And if France managed to take that tile, the whole German army would have been completely surrounded. And I didn't know this rule, so I didn't even think about attempting it. But if they were surrounded at the start of their next turn, they would have immediately taken damage, and their attacks would be 2 less from their roll, which would have been extremely helpful. And then their defenses would have been 2 less. Yeah, defenses would have been 2 less. And then all pieces attacking the encircled pocket would get a +2 on their offense for the French. So that could have been extremely helpful if I knew that rule. Looks like Paris was just taken. De Gaulle did not manage to escape. He was killed. So the French lost a general, which could have gone to the British. Once Paris falls, like the French are still fighting, right? To capitulate France, you need to take certain 3 cities out of a group of cities. So I believe Paris is 1 out of 3 checked off for the Germans. If it was any other nation, you'd have to capture all hex cities. All resource hex cities. The resource hexes are the they're the slashed hexes. They have like a grading over it. I don't think Germany's going to be doing too much more this turn. Yep, on to Russia now. Russia, I mean, I'm still waiting on money. Not much else I can do other than move into position. This line is really thin. I have a couple ideas on how I might want to change playing Russia. There's another game going on that I was watching for a little bit during the Russian player's turn, and they're already at war with Germany, and it's really difficult for the Russians. So I might change my tactics up a little bit, watching those battles. Yeah, I just need to get more units. That's the sad thing with Russia, is you never feel like you have enough to cover the whole front. And if you do, you're so thin, it's not even worth it. Yeah, I've already bought all the infantry there, as you can see. That I can for the time being. Yeah, I'm currently eyeing up buying all that infantry. More infantry, more numbers, more dice rolls. Looks like Russia's done. I think. Unless I'm planning on what to buy, possibly. I don't think I have any money, though. I think I'm just maneuvering. I was working on figuring out where to move stuff. Alright, so now we're on to UK. You know, UK is the same thing so far. Escorting to kill subs, escorting down south to get rid of the surface raiders. raiding the German iron ore convoy that goes from the North Sea up to the Scandinavian Sea, and try to hold France as long as possible. They say France fell in a month. Well, I managed to last as France. Me and the other French player, because we were going back and forth. Sometimes the other French player wasn't there. We managed to hold out a long time as France. Looks like I'm currently deciding what to do, whether to pull out or to strike somewhere. I'm gonna start here most likely with convoy raiding. That's what, yeah, using the bomber to attack the convoy. Then I'm pulling out the fleets. Now I'm going back to convoy raiding after I going back to convoy escorting after I finished my raiding and failed both rolls. Oh, looks like I finally found the Graf Spree. And we are taking it out. Sweet. That was a pretty big pain in the British side because it's so hard to find a single ship out in the middle of a giant ocean. Let's see here. Ah, looks like I am finally assaulting Paris to try and take it back. And I think I get lucky with my Air Force. And he gets unlucky with his rolls. He's rolling rather high. That's what it looks like. I got really lucky with my aircraft rolls. Yep, and he wasn't able to retreat, but I'm pretty sure I was missed with everything on the previous round anyways. So it wasn't useful at all. Okay, there he was able to finally retreat and bring that general out because I wanted to kill it. And he got lucky with his retreat rolls. I decided not to take Paris with Britain. I wanted the French to have that honor to retake Paris. I believe this is where I was talking about what happened there earlier. I didn't realize how the rules went. And back to convoy rating, a little bit out of order here. Looks like I did 4 out of 6 for the north of North Sea, and I didn't get to see Scandinavia. but I most likely did at least some damage to that convoy route up north. Now we're on to Italy. Italy's finally having a turn, is what it looks like. I can't tell. Looks like they're just reinforcing North Africa. Don't know what those dice rolls are for. So Italy is joining the war, officially declared war on the Allies, going after France to try to take another of the key cities to capitulate France. Let's see here. I don't know what else Italy's doing. I think we're just talking at this point. Oh, now we're on to France. France is someone you use for repairs, is what it looks like. Oh, that was a big zoom out. So it looks like they're gonna retake Paris, and I think that's about it. We're currently just talking about what we should do because the German Air Force looks to be out of range of providing air cover. Oh, actually, you know what? De Gaulle wasn't even in Paris that time. De Gaulle was up north. I thought de Gaulle was killed. Well, whoops. De Gaulle ends up being killed on Germany's next turn. Well, no. I don't think it's the next turn. De Gaulle does get killed because they can't escape. Poor roll on my end. You had to get a... I think it was a 1 on a d6, and of course I got a 1. So... looks like I am attacking German troops down south. Try to push them back a little bit because they were hurt. Almost killed them, but they were luckily able to retreat. Would have been nice to kill off those units. Looks like I'm trying to rail things out of the Maginot. Gonna just let it fall because the pieces aren't doing anything currently. That is technically an illegal move because I didn't know that you cannot rail through a mixed zone of control. You have to rail out of an enemy zone of control, and then you can, well, you have to move out of an enemy zone of control, and then you can rail. But because they were all in a zone of control, except for I think one after a movement, then they couldn't rail. So some of them are going to have to be put back there. Looks like France did some escorting. This is where I start to move ships around because I'm fearing the worst for France. Paris is weakly defended, and they only need to take Paris and one other city. Alright, on to turn 3. I moved the French fleet that was in the Atlantic to Canada, and then I moved the French fleet that was south with Britain in the South Atlantic to Cairo. So they were in pretty bad positions, and I moved most of the Mediterranean fleet out, except for a couple transports, I think. Let's see here. Looks like the final battle here is going on. They're trying to push Britain out, and they successfully do, taking the tile. Now the city is completely surrounded. Yeah, man, not looking too good. There's only one tile left for troops to escape. Sadly, Britain and France combined together did not have enough troops to hold back the superior German army. Alright, Battle of Paris is going down. France is doing the best it can. Doing hits here and there. And finally eliminated the units in Paris. Paris has fallen for the second time. France is still alive. Only by a thread, though. Trying to evacuate whatever they could, I guess. And I believe now we're going to be going on to Russia here soon. Not quite sure. It looks like I went AFK again here. Yeah, I don't see anything moving. Alright, it is Russia's turn. Looks like I'm finally able to repair, or should I say finish training these troops, as I was joking earlier. Going through anything else I want to buy, because I had extra money is what it looks like. Ended up buying a bunch of tanks. I'm going to use those tanks to try and stop breakthroughs, but you know, with having pieces that are weaker than Germany's, I have a feeling it's just not going to work well. Need to come up with a method to try to prevent Germany from being able to encircle troops with tanks. Probably gonna have to do like I think it's called it's not combined arms. It's what is it called? I think it's defense in depth or something. I mean, it is combined arms, but it's more so putting infantry with tanks than having tanks be by themselves with mechanized. Okay, UK is up. Like I said, same thing. Escorting, try to get rid of some subs and convoy raiding. And it looks like Britain is officially pulling out of France this turn. There's not much that Britain or France can do to prevent the fall. It does look like, though, that France was lucky enough to move the Air Force out in time so that Britain can keep the Air Force and use it. Yeah, there's the bomber there. I'm going to be doing convoy rolls there. Or, in this case, Kyler did convoy rolls. Yep, here's the convoy going on. Convoy disruption. Okay, looks like he managed to do all damage there. And I think he managed to do all damage here as well, because he has a number of ships to do it. Yep, failed at searches, and then the swordfishes also failed at finding the subs. Oh, looks like there's an air battle going on here. The British are attempting to wipe out a German infantry, and Germany scrambled some of its air force. Britain is getting lucky, really lucky with its air force, and managed to wipe out a plane, and heavily damaging the other two. That's what it looks like, unless there was more. I couldn't quite tell if it was too fast. And the infantry retreated. Looks like UK moved up to do a border with the Italians. Not sure if they'll be. I think they'll be attacking. I don't know if they have the range. I don't think they do. Looks like UK may be attempting to do convoy raiding. I can't tell. Or they're just going to be doing short bombardment. It is all over the place. Looks like I don't know. I'm talking with Kyler at this point, going over some ideas. He wants to. Looks like he wants to try and take one of those ports from Italy. assuming that the ports, yeah, that's what he did right there. Assuming that the ports will be able to scramble into both sea zones, but unfortunately the ports are only into one of the two sea zones, all three of them. So that was a pretty useless move right there. The not only that, it landed on a non-beach, so the unit, which only has 3 health, took 2 damage right off the bat, so it only has 1 health, barely holding a port. Looks like place an infantry down in Cairo. I think we built an air force this turn. Let's see here. It's Italy's turn currently. Just took the last city from France, and now we're rolling for the French ships. France has capitulated. So the ships on the right are the ships that France was able to keep, if you want to pause and go take a look there. France was able to keep the ships in the Mediterranean. Looks like France was able to keep some of the ships in Cairo, but 2 went to Germany. Looks like Britain is attempting to intercept a Italian fleet moving through. And that one was successful. Looks like we're starting a battle. And one decided to not keep the find up, or the battle up, and the Britons chose to retreat. Also looked like now Italy just took Malta because Britain fleet didn't want to take on the whole Italian fleet because they were outnumbered and outgunned. So they decided to leave Malta. Malta's pretty important in this region because it's a fort, has an air base, and is a port. I think we're talking about what some legal things are here and there at this point. Looks like they're battling the fort is what it looks like. Yes. The fort itself has a defense role, and I think there is an AA gun there I took as a casualty from a bombardment. And they ended up taking the fort with some heavy casualties, what it looks like. If Italy didn't bring that infantry, they would have failed the invasion of Malta. Not only that, since the fort is damaged, the units are out of supply. And the Italian player forgot to bring supply, so it looks like he's going to lose one troop right off the bat next turn anyways. The other one will be heavily damaged. I don't know what I'm currently looking at there. I think I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with Britain to try and get Malta back, especially now that Malta's been taken, because I wanted to keep Malta and use it as a base of operations. It would have been key to cutting the Mediterranean in half. Okay, looks like Britain is back to controlling France, possibly. I don't know if it changed over at this point. No, it is still Italy's turn currently. Okay, let's see what's going on. Looks like I'm just looking around the map currently. I think we just finished, and I was looking to see what else was going on. It's possible that I am AFK. Not really, I'm still moving around. I'm just trying to think of stuff to do, like what I want to do next, because France just fell. Keep going back to France. Ah, you know what it was? I was talking with a German player. So yeah, the game's over for that round, but I was talking with the German player about, you know, why I sent things somewhere, like the ships for France, like up to Canada and down south to Cairo. Oh, actually, it's behind Cairo. Oh, no, maybe it is Cairo. It's behind Suez. Looks like now I'm just organizing the British pieces so they fit better. We ended up making a fleet marker because it's just... Yeah, you can shrink the ships down, but they still clog up space, because the hexes are rather small. Yeah, making everything look nice. That's about it for that. Just waiting here for the next turn to start. There it is. Alright, so starting off with a German invasion of Norway. They just beat the Norwegian Navy. Now they're just took the capital of Norway. I'm talking with Kyler here. Coming up with some plans. Russia's turn. Looks like I'm just moving more stuff around to the front line and etc. Again, looks like I'm going with the 2 troops per hex, and then spacing out every other hex. As Britain always does, probably going to be convoy raiding and a bunch of other stuff like that. And then escorting, and I think I'm going to start focusing on the Mediterranean. No, what I'm doing is I am sending troops up to Norway to try and defend Norway. Seeing what airplanes could reach. That's what it looks like. Or if any could reach. Trying to retake Malta, planning to, is what it looks like here. Because the units in Malta are out of supply, so they will be taking damage this turn. Let's see here. Because I'm just talking over possible plans to try and retake Malta. Yeah, looks like we're gonna try and pull the guy out of Palermo to save money. Because if it gets deleted, we'll have to pay more than it is to repair. I've said that in the past. Just keep going back to the same spot here, trying to figure out what it was I was looking at. So I am moving the fleets together and merging them. It also looks like I might, if I remember correctly, ended up convoy raiding. But it was an illegal move because I wanted to use them to intercept instead. Let's see here. I'm just seeing what Italy has and where it is located. Now we're back up north. Still haven't fully figured out what we should do to try to attack Germany and Italy yet. Looks like we're finally starting out in the Atlantic, possibly. A lot of this footage, you know, it's sped up super fast, and of course there's no audio. So there could be dice rolls that is being missed, but usually we've seen most of them. And there's a lot of communicating and planning going on right now, definitely, as to scenarios that we want to try out, like just thinking wise, to try and put herself in good positions and trying to attack weak positions, stuff like that. Because there's no dice rolls yet, so I have a feeling that they're just going to be, excuse me, just going to be planning at this point. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Is I'm merging the fleets here, or something. Ah, yeah, I'm splitting them apart into separate groups. Is what it looks like. For rating purposes, like I was talking earlier, but turns out it was an illegal move. So we just gave Italy the money back that I ended up rating. Yeah, so there's the rating. That's a big cruiser, jeez. Looks like finally pushing into North Africa. Yeah, I'm moving stuff back to port there. That is... Where am I moving these to now? Ah, so now I am doing a blockade of the major ports because I wanted to slow down Italy from getting the upper hand because they just took Malta, because I didn't want them to really station in Malta. So when I am, I guess you could say, blockading a port, it's an automatic find, meaning I don't have to roll to find their fleet. But it's still only 2 rounds of combat. So, yeah, it looks like they're trying to escape here, and it's going to be a big battle going on. But my rolls are not great, even though I have a bigger fleet. Yep. Both sides are taking casualties here. Well, not casualties, but taking hits. And right there, because that French fleet was there, it looks like I prevented a possible maneuver or movement. Yeah, and I decided to not find that because it was a smaller fleet, and he brought his whole fleet and finally merged it, is what it looks like. Yeah, that's exactly what he did. Or maybe he didn't merge it, he just equaled out the numbers. Looks like we didn't pull out of Palermo. That's because we didn't have a transport there, right? Right, in order to move a unit, you need to start with a transport. So that unit died. Looks like I am maneuvering planes? Yeah. To positions. I think I'm taking those 2 planes up there because I can reach, yep. That ends up being a bad move because I didn't know. Again, a lot of these bad moves are made because of things I don't know. When retreating with aircraft, they only have, I guess you could say, half their movement range, total movement range. Because, so for example, if a plane moves 3, right, they can move 3 out and then move 3 back. That's if you're attacking. But if you're just maneuvering, like you don't attack with it, then you get a full range of 6. And actually, it could be up to 8. You get 2 hops. So I thought that if I retreated with aircraft, I would get the full movement range in 2 hops. Because that's where they started from. It's not like I moved out from anywhere. It's where I started from, so I would assume they would get their full range. But no, they don't. So what's going on there? I think I'm just maneuvering the fleets around. It looks like Germany is raiding again. After a while, once there gets to be a lot of subs and stuff out in the Atlantic, the amount of damage done their raiding is quite a bit. If they get, even if they get 1 dice roll a turn, that's on average 6 damage, and the max damage per turn they can do is 30. So in a season, that's 90 damage. And UK only makes $80 a season, so yeah, it's not good. If they get 2 rolls, then they're averaging 12 per month. And if they get a lucky, like let's say they get 4 hits, that's 24 in 1 month out of the max of 30. I've had it to where over the 3 months of a season, the German player has done more than 30 damage. So I think that I will end up closing some of the what do you call it? Closing. What is it called? The convoy route. I mean, I'll instantly lose $30 on my collection, but he won't be able to raid more than $30 because I remember I started tallying it, and 1 month he did like 35 damage, which is, You know, that's $5 in repairs that I couldn't do. And sorry, one season he did 35. The next season he did a little more. I think he did around 40, and that was really hurtful. You know, $10. You might not think that's a lot, but that's two AA guns. That's a fortification. That two fortifications. That's an infantry. And really, that's repairs. That's 5 ship repairs, so that I couldn't do because of the extra money that he rated. So, I mean, in the future, it looks like I'm just going to end up closing that convoy route until I start getting extra money as the UK from America. Once that happens, I'll probably reopen it because it'll make up for it, and I'll get a little bit more money to use, but I might lose a little more later, possibly. But if I can get more ships out there to start killing subs, it will be much more helpful. The issue though with the subs is the groups I have out there. If I get unlucky on my rolls, because I currently need to get a 5 on some of the rolls. If I can get another group out there somehow, it's 8 ships. That'll make the groups with carriers would have to get a 4, which would be really good. It'd be better than a 5, but then the other one would be at a 5 instead of a 4. So that's what I'll be working on next, is getting another ship group out there, but either I take it from the Mediterranean or I take it from the British home fleet, and I really don't know what I'm going to do. Or try and build another 8 ships somehow with money I don't have. Looks like Germany just forced Britain's hand there by not letting them move because of the 1 German infantry there. Trying to figure out what I want to do. If I want to attack up north, or if I want to just pull out and move up north. Looks like I want to try and take Malta, but again, another rule which we end up changing because France infantry pieces were still controlled by France, not by Britain. In which case, ships and planes are controlled by Britain. You know, we simplified it later on to make it just all free French pieces become British. I wasn't allowed to do this move because France went at a different time, which was dumb. Because I would have totally done the move. Instead, I went somewhere else with the French piece, I think. Or I just didn't do it. I think, I mean, I might have just moved the French piece to a different location. Yeah, I really want to take Malta back, but it's going to be difficult. Suppose that group that you see at the bottom there, I could use that for part of the 8. And send it back out to the North Atlantic. Or maybe I was allowed to do this, huh? Maybe this is when we were talking about changing the pieces to become British. Because it'd be kind of dumb that there's only like 2 or 3 pieces that France controls when Britain gets all their air force and navy. That might have been when we switched it. Looks like I went with it. Yeah, my rolls were not great. I think I only got 1 hit there with my bombardment. Oh, looks like I took him somewhere else. Yeah, that's what I did. Because of that rule. We didn't change it yet. Okay, now I'm going after this Italian unit again. And I just wiped him out. I think I ended up raiding with these 2 subs. Tried to do some money damage to Italy. Oh. That's why I ended up moving the bombers from Gibraltar. Because I wanted to get them in North Africa to help out with hurting Italy. Let's see here. What am I planning on? I think I'm talking with Kyler as to where he should attack up north. Kyler ends up leaving and coming back during the session. I forget why. Looks like we're just waiting around for him. I think I ended up just taking control because he was gone for so long. Looks like I'm going to start raiding here. Or I'm just going to be maneuvering pieces is what it looks like. Yeah, so I did end up doing convoy raiding that turn because you can see the marker there. Oh, my alarm's going off. Okay, it looks like I'm just seeing where plans can move and stuff like that. Looks like I'm just moving my stuff on the placement board and starting to... Oh, Italy's turn. So they're trying to break out again is what it looks like. And there'll be battles in this one here. And it looks like Italy managed to get through, and I think they're not even going to try. Oh, looks like they are trying to break through the British blockade. Again, I don't roll that well because I could easily wipe him out. But sadly, I miss a lot. Let's see here. Looks like I'm just maneuvering because... Oh no. Yeah, it's me. Maneuvering that troop out because Italy ended up taking the tile. Italy decided to go after Suez there. But since they're... looks like they're coming back, and sad thing is I can't try and find them, because I would if I could. But in the rules, you can only do it once